She had like a tremendous potential, like she could, lift mountains basically in her own way.
The sorrow, the pain she's having may not subside or may not go because she lost her daughter.
People in one African country, they are focused on a Utah courthouse this week. A judge will determine how much the U.S. government has to pay the family of a celebrity and humanitarian from Uganda who died in Arches National Park. Fox 13 investigative reporter Nate Carlisle was in the courtroom today. He's in studio with us now. Nate, this is a very emotional case.
It's very emotional, Kelly. This was Esther Nakajjigo. We've told you about her accomplishments in Uganda. More on that in a moment. In June 2020, Nakajjigo and her husband were exiting Arches when wind caught a traffic control gate. It pierced their car and decapitated Nakajjigo in the passenger seat. Her widower, mother, and brother went to the federal courthouse in Salt Lake City today asking for more than $140 million.
My name is Esther Nakajjigo, the Uganda's ambassador for women and girls.
She had like a tremendous potential, like she could, lift mountains basically in her own way.
Ludo Michaud was driving when the accident happened at Arches, just 3 months after he and Nakajjigo married.
I don't want this incident to, reproduce itself ever again.
She was 25. In opening statements today, a plaintiff's attorney described how much Nakajjigo had already accomplished.
This here, like Esther, will decide the future.
That she came from a very, very poor household where the mom was beaten like all the time, where she used to see children, like young children getting pregnant on the streets because we come from the slums.
We give them that information. They do not need to only have book information. They have skills for life.
She was a singer and actress who raised money to open health clinics for teenagers, even though she was a teenager herself. And she created a reality television show that depicted and aided pregnant girls.
Welcome to Africa's best high school reality TV show, The Saving Innocence Challenge.
Nakajjigo's mother, through a translator, said she wants to use money from the court award to continue funding her daughter's work.
The sorrow, the pain she's having may not subside or may not go because she lost her daughter. But at least she can get some relief if she continues the work her daughter was doing.
Plaintiff attorneys intend to show Judge Bruce Jenkins the horror of that day. He will see photos from the scene and video from a camera mounted on the Arches Visitor Center.
I've been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder.
The government has already admitted liability. Under questioning from the judge, an assistant U.S. attorney asked far less be paid to the family, about $4.25 million. He contended the plaintiffs are vastly overestimating Nakajjigo's future earnings and what Michaud should receive for the effects of witnessing the accident.
This was the first award she won in 2013.
Nakajjigo's mother and brother arrived in Salt Lake City over the weekend. They showed us posters and news articles tracing Nakajjigo's feats. It was their first time on an airplane and their first time meeting Michaud in person.
Our mom and I, we cried and we just, talked the whole morning, and that was pretty emotional.
Today is Michaud's birthday. He's expected to testify sometime this week. The trial is scheduled to finish Friday with a ruling in the coming weeks. And Uganda is watching. We've already seen significant traffic on fox13now.com and on our social media for this story. Much of that audience is from Uganda. In the studio, Nate Carlisle, Fox 13 News, Utah.